Hey you guys, I'm Flight Attendant JoJo and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, I promise it'll be worth it. And if you're returning, I love you, welcome back. So you might be a bit confused why I'm in regular attire and the video's captioned, the FAA was on my flight. That's because they were, and that was like 2 days ago. This is also a massive flight attendant update video. There is a lot that's gonna be talked about in this video, and it's really important, so definitely don't miss out. If you watch any of my videos, this will tie everything together from the previous month and the upcoming month. I'm gonna start the video with a massive update on the past few weeks and why you probably haven't seen much of me. I'm typically very good at uploading consistently twice a week. I do my best for you guys, specific days, and it has been a madhouse for me. I have been on a trip. I have flown across the world. Like, it is a very intense flight attendant week for JoJo. And this is a very random video about the FAA, but it's because on my last trip, the FAA was on my plane and I promised to give an update, and then the trip got crazy and I just didn't have time for it in that video. So I'm gonna tell you now so that when you watch my video in a week, or I think it should be a week, if you want to watch that video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. And if you're watching this and this video says like a month old, then go find that video of my first trip back. But I didn't have time to talk about the FAA, so I'm going to explain it in this video, so that when you do watch me say, oh my gosh, the FAA is on board, you'll have an understanding of why I'm freaking out. All right, let's start with the update. I am back from Australia with my husband. My husband's Australian, so we went to Australia. We did the whole 2-week quarantine in Sydney. We flew to so many different states. We flew I'm pretty sure every airline that Australia has to offer. So if you're curious about any Australian flight attendants or airplanes, definitely go check out all of those videos. Now, we did spend a good amount of time in Australia, so if you're really confused of like why I just keep going on trips, it's because I actually didn't film in between these week-long trips. So I made it very short. You're gonna see just my trips in Australia where I get on a plane, and the next one that's coming out is our flight back home. First, it will be our flight to Sydney, where we are escaping Australia because it's probably the second hardest country to get out of. At the time we were trying to leave, and just in general, but especially Melbourne. Then I have my Sydney to LA video on the 787 Dreamliner, so that's really exciting. And then we are back to trips. I am back full force, insanely jet lagged. Like, I'm so sorry you guys. Thank you for staying subscribed and committing to me. I'm committed to, I swear. I am just in a whirlwind. After doing one trip and flying across the world, like, it's all been within 1 week. I feel like I've been doing a red-eye schedule for a whole month. That is how exhausted, just beaten down my body feels. But I think that's just the feeling of being a new hire. Like, if you're gonna become a flight attendant, it's gonna feel very intense the first month. I was so nauseous after my first day back to flying. I did 3 legs, and that means 3 flights. I was in the back on the last flight, just like chatting with the flight attendants, and I thought I need to go up to the front because I'm getting so sick back here. And it reminds me of when I was first hired. I threw up my whole first trip. Like, you have this training IOE sort of trip, and I spent my layover throwing up because I was so nauseous. After being a flight attendant and standing in the back of the airplane while you're like circling, I think we couldn't land for maybe 20 minutes, and I didn't realize how sick you get while you circle in the air waiting for ATC to let you land. Also, a huge reason of why I just crashed today is because I inputted 882 bids specific, because Case and I, we are buddy bidding for next month. I'm in control of the bids and I'm freaking out a bit. They close in like 12 hours or something, and I don't like being responsible for her bids too. She's so easygoing, and I know once we end up getting a 99-hour line of 4 leg turns or something, she'll be okay with it. But I just warned her, I was like, with me bidding, there's a huge potential that that's what we're gonna be flying next month. So I am feeling the pressure to make sure our bids go smoothly, and I just can't guarantee anything. A lot of you also know that I have to move to Dallas. I was an LA-based flight attendant, and now I am a DFW flight attendant. How exciting! I landed from Australia, and maybe 2 days later I went apartment hunting in Dallas. My parents showed up, their flight got canceled. They were only supposed to be there for the afternoon, and they ended up staying in my hotel room for the night. Like, it was absolutely crazy, and I feel so bad for them. Anyways, I apartment hunted in Dallas, and I hated it. Case came, and she was super helpful, and another flight attendant showed me her apartment, which is so nice and helpful. But still, you guys, I don't know that I'm gonna be okay with this. But this month I'm commuting, next month I'm probably commuting, but I would really like to just get an apartment next week in Dallas. Enough about me moving to Dallas. You'll see it as we go along this next month. The FAA, they were on my flight. Well, let me explain what the FAA is. It is the Federal Aviation Administration, and they are pretty much the police for the flights. For aviation, there was a Federal Aviation Act that created the FAA in 1958. I would be very curious to what flying was like before 1958. They're regulating civil aviation to promote safety. It's all about safety, of course. When a flight attendant tells you to do something, it is for your safety, and that's like the reason. So follow the rules, please. Developing and carrying out programs to control aircraft noise and other environmental effects of civil aviation, regulating U.S. commercial space transportation. All right, when I was in training, I learned about the FAA. Training is regulated by the FAA. There are certain things that you have to hit. There's reasons why you have to be in every moment of every class during flight attendant training. I met the FAA in both of my training classes. I was regional at one point, and then I went to mainline. They were both really cool and nice. They showed us their badges. They told us that we might see them on our flights. So I never saw the FAA when I worked regional. I never met them on any of my flights. But then when I went to mainline, I did meet the FAA. They were working, you can have them in the flight deck or you can have them in the cabin. So either they're watching the pilots or they're watching the flight attendants. And it is like having a cop like drive behind you all the way to your destination. It is very nerve-wracking. Not that anyone's doing anything wrong. Everyone's of course following policies and procedures and the rules, the laws, but they're always really lovely. The first time was like 5 a.m. was not expecting that. I think it was a 5 a.m. departure. So it was probably 4:30 when I met this person. I'm pretty sure they were just going home. I don't think they asked to see any of my stuff on the flight because they can ask to make sure you have all of your required items, that you are following the rules, and they can also watch you while you're working to make sure you're doing your safety compliance checks right. Just a whole lot of things. This person was not interested in doing those things. I'm sure something would have happened if we did things wrong, but that was not the case. The second time I had the FAA on board, I noticed him in the boarding gate area. I was like, that's the FAA. And I told the whole crew, I was like, just so you know, the FAA is about to board. He was the same person that we met during training at mainline, and he got on board and he asked to see our tablets, made sure they were up to date, and he was lovely and it was easy. And that was that. So you're probably wondering what happened on my last trip. Oh my gosh. It was my first flight back. And it was in Dallas. The time that I did have the FAA check my tablet, that was also Dallas. So of course, Dallas had another FAA. I get on board, my first flight back in like 7 months, and they say, oh, FAA is here. Great, this made me feel real comfortable being back at work. First flight. feeling real confident about myself. It was not for the flight attendants in main cabin. He was in the flight deck, and there have been a lot of times that I've seen the FAA in the flight deck, but for this occasion, first flight back, just shocking, of course. He just sat in the flight deck and he was really nice. I greeted him and then that was it. I didn't even see him after flight. So as easy as that. It was more intense on the pilots, but they said he was lovely and so nice anyways. So you guys, that's my massive update on life. Get ready for Sydney, the 787 Dreamliner to LA, and my first trip back. We are going full force. I might have like an apartment video, but it was just really unsuccessful for me. So I'm ending this video. The rest of the month I have a 4-day trip. LA did not have 4-day trips, and it's like working every day. It's not like 2 days in Hawaii. It's like 4 days with 3 legs probably each day. I don't even know. We're going Cancun at the end of the month, so that's really exciting too. Make sure you do have that bell notification on and that you smash this thumbs up button because JoJo didn't get in trouble with the FAA. So it's always great news, and JoJo's back full force as being a flight attendant. I appreciate you guys and I love you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later.